All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. We'll pick up in a minute time. Thank you everybody for being part of the community. I know we asked you all to join late, but it's always fun to support folks when they come to the Lions Den. So let's have fun. We'll pick up in a minute. Let's go, people. Let's go. Oh, 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 oh. Thank you for joining. I know we asked you to join late, but thank you. It'll be fun. We just have fun, try to support our team together. If you don't mind, smash the like button, folks. Thank you all. Short notice, but hey, it's always worthwhile. Thank you, everybody. All right, thank you, everybody. Welcome on board tonight or this afternoon. It's going to be an exciting one. We have one of our team members, and this is what we do best as a community. We try to support our folks that have interviews coming up, and we offer them some guidance, some advice. And feel free, please, always chat and give us feedback. So if you don't mind, let's start with chatting. Just say hello, hi, what's up? Wherever you are joining from in the world, let's just see you all. Just say hello, hello. Let's see. Go ahead and just type hello. Let's make sure everybody is, aligned together. And again, thank you for joining late. But it's important because we have a team member of ours that she has an interview scheduled for tomorrow. So this is an opportunity to kind of just prepare and get her ready also. So do me a favor as a team. Let's do what we do best. All I do here, I'm just a facilitator. You all make this happen all the time. If you have questions, please feel free to just chip those questions in. This would help our team member to be very successful. So without further ado, we have one of our team members. She is preparing for an application for a role for a senior GRC analyst. So, for most of us, typically we know the drill. The drill is simple. Remember again, this is our lions. Then you can see the lions behind me, right? And we are very conservative. So, at your best days, don't get mad. We're going to just give you five. The reason is simple, not because we think you're not competent or capable, but because we want to force you to go the extra mile to put some additional layer of knowledge and make you ultimately successful. Statistically, 80% of our folks on the Lions Den within 2 months always get a job. Now, we are not of the illusion anything is automatic. We know we got to still put the work. So after this Lions Den, we expect our team go back and make sure you do extra work, prepare, revise, and get yourself ready. For all of us that are applying for jobs, never go out without listening to the Lions Den, studying it, and just kind of having a feel of what some of those interviews will be. And we try to keep it random. Don't forget the role of a GRC analyst. Typically, we are talking about you're going to be potentially responsible for building policies and procedures, responsible for mapping your organizational cybersecurity controls to leading practices. If there are gaps, you are making recommendation, action plan. Don't forget also, sometimes we ask you to conduct risk assessment, track risk registry also. Sometimes we may ask you to do pre-audit assessment for PCI DSS, EPA, OCHA, NEXIP, CC, PA, GDPR, whatever policy we decide that we use within our organization, we might ask you to kind of get us ready for it. Sometimes I've seen, most of us, I don't know if you remember this week. This week has been, or last week has been a little bit crazy for the world, right? We all heard about the crowd strike issue, right? So imagine a company that did not have an incident response plan. How would they have survived it, right? It would have been a lot of chaos. So those are the things that we as GRC analysts will find ourselves doing. Sometimes you participate in third party risk work also, building vendor questionnaires, scorecard for those vendors, a lot of tons of things you can find yourself doing. So without further ado, we have the exciting joy of bringing on board Chi in the house. What's up, sis? How are you, Chi?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So, Chi, I know you're applying for a role of a senior GRC analyst. So, because it's senior, right, we got to give you the respect that you took a bite of faith, right? Okay, let's go for this. So, we're going to go into, you know the drill. We start asking you questions and just we are rooting for you. We just want you to be yourself, have fun in the process. One thing I always tell everybody is that sometimes during an interview, The interviewer or panel might kind of just throw you off guard by just going straight into the questions. Don't stress it at all, right? At the end of the day, ultimately, I want you to be in charge. What does that mean? Pause a little bit and say, "Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, V. Thank you, Aiken, for having the interview with me." So make it your own tone. Despite your pressure, I don't care. I will still come back to my own normalcy. Your normalcy is just be calm, read your script from a point of salutation first, then you can now roll. I always like you to say, "Hey, do you mind if I give you more information about my project?" 99% of the time, people say, "Sure." This is your time to shine. Then you can take your time, just start articulating specifically what you have done in the past. Remember, the interviewers are rooting for you and I, let's be honest, because think about it. I've been in many panels myself, and when I try to interview people, I hate to interview so many people. It's a waste of time, really. Then it's just so much follow up. I don't have time. I would rather have two people. The first one is so good. Second one is equally so good. Now I'm confused. Okay, guys, my team, pick one. That is ideal. But when you start having 5, 6, 7 interviews, then it takes a lot of stress on you are so stressed, you are so you the interviewer just do it. So I'll tell you, if they bring you to a panel to interview, they likely want you to be the right candidate.
Mm.
So always remember that most people are always on your side already. So leverage it and just be the personality that they need. I'll tell you what I've seen also. Most times it's really a personality connection. Most times people want someone they just click with, that, you know what, I like this person. So you see them kind of cut you slack because they like you as a person. So just bring out your A game to attract us to you, your personality also into the process. All right. Any question before we get started, sis?
No questions.
All right, excellent, excellent. All right, all right, all right. So we're about to just jump in real quick. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's get started, folks. All right, so Chi, we saw your resume online. We think you might be a fit for one of our role. We're looking for a senior GRC analyst right now. What we've done in the past is, at the moment, we have tons of issues that needs remediation. Our external auditors and internal auditors have come up with some list of items that we need to fix. It's kind of overwhelming. We want someone that is a self-starter that can come in and help us with remediation. Secondly, we have quite a number of processes that need risk assessment. We want someone that can take a lead on those initiatives. And also, we have some third-party vendors in the cloud service side and AI side that we potentially need someone to build like vendor questionnaires and scorecard for those vendors, and we have quite a number of policies we need to build also. If you don't mind, can you walk us through some of your experience and what you've done and how it aligns with this goal?
Yes, thank you very much, Akin. First, thank you very much, Akin. I have a wealth of experience with third party management and also remediation. One of the projects that I've worked on with remediation, um, we had to identify the issue, and then we had to identify the issue, we assessed it, and then I went on to um, develop a plan
Okay.
for the remediation. What I did was I led the team to execution. So the execution part of it was implementing access controls, and also the team had to um, do an update, basically fix a code. After that was done, we pushed to the testing environment for verification to ensure that it was ready to go to deployment. And after we had that done, we we had to document the process. And after documenting the process, we also sent a report to top management. And after doing that, I ensured that there was continuous monitoring, and also ensured that some of the team members and employees that were going to be using the updated version, I ensured that they were educated. And With third party risks, I've also worked on a project. Do you want me to further go down the route or?
If you don't mind, can you walk us through with the third-party risk project you worked on? Walk us through how you typically follow up with your vendors and make sure they're in compliance. What do you typically do?
What I do is I I carry out a risk assessment
Okay,
on, because before we get to that point, we already have security guidelines, and we have to make sure that they're in compliance and they understand our security guidelines. And so to ensure that they're in compliance, what I do is carry out risk assessments, map their current map what they have with the framework.
yeah,
And at this project, I was working with data protection, so I was using the GDPR framework. So I had to map that against the GDPR framework, see if there was any um, discrepancies, carried out the gap analysis, and then when I checked that there were no vulnerabilities, so we were good on that front. But what I did was I just ensured that there was continuous monitoring, and I ensured that they were um, kept abreast with everything that they needed to know to be compliant.
okay, excellent. Walk me through a project you worked on in terms of remediation. What exactly did you fix? Give me an example of an issue that was identified and how you remediated that issue.
Okay, so one of the issues that I found out after carrying out an analysis or an assessment was there was everyone had access to to a very sensitive information. And what I did in that instance was to rally up a team. We then implemented a least privilege access control, where only the people that needed to have access to that information had access to that information. And also, I introduced the organization to something called zero trust, where
Okay,
you don't trust anybody, regardless of whatever they say, until they have proven that they need to have access to the information.
right.
So it's still something that we're working around. It was just a suggestion. Another suggestion, least privilege works, but it was also another suggestion. I also introduced the use of multi-factor authentication to ensure that we have the right people logging in to get in any form of information from the
Okay.
company.
All right. So, a business unit is experiencing a significant increase in data privacy related consumer complaints. How would you investigate and address this issue from a GRC point of view?
First thing to do is to identify the issue. I would identify the issue, and then I would assess the issue, see if the company is in compliance with the framework. The framework that would be relevant in this case in data privacy would be the GDPR. So I
Okay.
would ensure that they're compliant. And if they're not, one thing I would do would be to give them the scores, because um, that's one of the ways to assess. That's one of the ways I assess, the risks. And when I do that, I ensure that I also develop policies and procedures for them to be compliant.
Okay. So, how would you deal with a business unit that you identify certain risk, but they don't agree with you? How would you deal with such a business unit?
Well, the that's a very good question.
Sorry, I think we cannot hear you. I think we lost you.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yeah, you're back.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Could you say the question again? I Could you say
Um,
that again?
okay, let me just, I guess I can move to another one. You mentioned GDPR. Was your company based in Europe or had an European outpost?
Yes, the company was based in Europe.
Okay, got it. Now, from your experience, I mean, how do you keep with emerging trends? For example, I don't know, in the last few weeks or a few days, we had a global crisis with CrowdStrike. As a GRC analyst, what would you have done different if you were in, if you were to make a recommendation? What would you have done different?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. That's a two-part question. I'd like to answer
Yeah,
the first one.
sure.
With keeping up with emerging trends, what I do is I read industry publications. I also have a group of cybersecurity peers and experts where we come together once a week and we share, due to our busy lives, we share what has gone on during that week. That's one of the two of the ways that I mean, there are other ways. I'm also currently studying for my CISA certification, and so it has opened me up to a lot of industry trends. Those are a few ways that I keep up with the industry trend. To your second question, which is the incident that happened 2 days ago,
Yeah,
I think that it was quite a disaster, and I myself, I was directly involved. My flight was delayed for
mm,
a couple of hours. What I would draw from that is the companies that were affected, they didn't have a strong business continuity plan. And by business continuity plan, I mean that in case of any outage, there is a plan to um, continue running the business with minimal impact. The other things that I deducted from that, but
yeah.
that would be one
What's
major
what's your take
one
on
major
the
thing.
patch management process in general? Because that's one of the recommendation that okay, everybody should implement or install patches to make the fixes. What's your take on an effective patch management process?
Um, I think an effective patch management process would be um, I think an effective patch management process would be test, test, test after
Okay.
the update has been made.
Yeah.
You know, the, testing in the test environments, and then also test in production before pushing to deployment, and document, also assess, and ensure that there's a documentation of the improvement that has been done.
Got it. What frameworks have you been exposed to, in the past, or standards that you've worked in the past?
Thank you very much for that question. I've been exposed to the NIST CSF, the
Okay.
ISO 27701, the
Okay.
GDPR. I also have an understanding of HIPAA, the SOX, that's the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. I
Yeah.
also have an understanding of the SOC 2 Type 2 framework.
Okay. Got it. Got it. So tell me, I mean, NIST came up with a new function. Are you aware of the new additional function for NIST?
No.
Okay. Have you heard of the govern function that was added
Oh
in February?
yes, yes, yes. I'm very aware of yes.
Okay.
I'm aware of the govern function. Yes.
All right. Got it. Okay. Um, the other thing I wanted to kind of run by you is looking at our organization, explaining the fact that we've had tons of issues we've not remediated. What do you think would be a good security posture or need we can implement to get us much more, with less frequency of issues if you were to advise us? What would be your recommendation on ways to reduce our risk or, continuous issues that we constantly have? What do you think we should, if you were to recommend something to do for us?
Okay, I'm
Because
not
I'll,
really
I'll
sure
tell
that
you,
I.
yeah, we have tons of issues that are aging. Some of them are 90 days, some of them are as far back as 2 years, to be honest. So that is a gap we have. We have not figured out an effective way to track and remediate issues within our environment. Now, sometimes it's because we've acquired quite a number of other organizations, so we inherit some of their issues. But at the moment, there are so many factors like cost implication because we need to automate certain processes. Sometimes we need to hire people, so we have to come up with compensating control. But just on the surface, what do you think would be some best practice to reduce this headache of issues we constantly have?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Now I understand it. First, what I would do would be to assess the whole lot of the issues and see which of the issues or the remediation issues is priority. One thing that I advise my clients is that if we have an issue that is the most vulnerable and
Yeah.
is very likely to be exploited by a threat actor, regardless of how much it costs to automate or get that fixed, I think that should be top priority. Because it will cost more if, for example, people's data is out there and then
Yeah.
you're fined more than what you would have spent. So, what I would
Okay.
do is to assess the remediation issues and then prioritize the issues. Which come first? Which of the issues literally exposes us, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Excellent. So tell me a little bit about your strategy around risk assessment. And I noticed you mentioned you've done quite a number of risk assessment. Walk me through one of your use cases for risk assessment.
Okay, so what I do is I have a template where um, I I I get the clients to I just few questions and then I
Yeah.
get them to answer the questions and I score them based off of that. And then depending on how high or how low they score, I then go ahead to advise and then help them develop policies and procedures to get them compliant or to get them to score higher.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So if you were to make one change in the world of cyber governance, risk, and compliance right now, what would that change be with your exposure with the industry right now? If you were to make one change, what would that be?
That's a very interesting question. I think it's something that I've been thinking about how I can make a change in this industry. One thing that I would do or I would say
Yeah.
is that I would ensure that there is some sort of backup
Yeah.
and because with what happened 2 days ago, it's very clear that we're over reliant on the Internet of Things. And
Mm.
so what I would do is to ensure that there's some sort of a backup somehow. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
Just
Fair
in
point.
case if there's anything that, I don't know. I just feel like, some sort of a back. I've not really thought about it. It's a
Fair
question
point.
I've been asking myself, but
Okay.
yeah, that's what
All right.
I would do.
That's fair. All right. So the final question I had is okay, there's a buzz right now on AI, right?
Mhm.
From your
Yeah.
personal perspective or professional judgment, what do you think? Because in our organization right now, we are considering implementing some large language model internally to create efficiency within different business units. What do you think we should look out for? Because quite honestly, we are scared. We don't know how this is going. We don't know much about the machine learning, the model, the implication of biases, the security. So there's so much nuances we just have no clue. How would you guide us if you were given the task to help us to benchmark and provide best practices for AI? What would you recommend we do?
What I would say with the way AI is going is I would say tread with caution. Um, but if if I was in a situation where I'd have to work with AI and help benchmark, just to make life easy for everyone, um, I would. advise that the best of them is integrated and implemented, and we use that for because it could save time and it could save energy,
Yeah.
and I also believe in smart work as well. So I would advise that they implement or adopt AI to
Yeah.
um, the company, and we use them for things like, for example, vulnerability scanning and automation
Okay.
of processes.
Got it. Okay. Do you have any questions for us, Chi?
Yes. The first question I have for you is, as a cybersecurity GRC coming into your company, how do you expect how do you expect this role, this person coming in to help the company?
So, we are very transparent in the process. We don't expect you to know everything once you come in. We have a learning curve. We have a team dedicated to help you jumpstart your knowledge base, especially around the business process within our organization. We expect you to be a self starter, to be very outspoken, and to challenge anything that is not normal within our environment. We embrace healthy, constructive criticism of our processes immediately. And one of the tasks we bring to our new hire is simple. We typically give you the first 2 weeks to just come back with feedback on ways we can improve our process. For example, I'll tell you for sure, our remediation process is broken right now, and we need someone to come in and give us recommendation immediately. So that will be a first task for sure. The other thing is that our environment is very fast paced. So I'll give an example. Right now, we are implementing large learning model, language model, and none of us is experienced with this. So we need someone that can come in also, read up, understand the nuances of the new technology, and give us some recommendation. And we're open to sending you to conferences to go learn more also.
All right, I love that.
Yeah.
The second question that I have would be, I mean, you already answered two of the other questions that I had, but I'll just, try to ask another one. The other
Sure.
question that
Yeah.
I had was, with what is currently going on the in the cybersecurity space. Do you think that the same thing that happened with Microsoft could potentially happen in the company?
I would love to say no, it will not, but I can't say that in good faith. And that's why we are very proactive, just to prepare for the unknown. Um, I can't say it will not happen, but I know we would always put our best foot to avoid such an incident. And when such a thing happens, we want to make sure we can respond quick and be transparent with our customers also.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's all the questions I had.
All right. Thank you so much, Chi. This was very helpful. All
Thank you.
right. Woohoo! You survived it, sis. All right. Let's give her some. Let's give her some. Let me give her a 2 second breather so that she can. Let me put some song to make her feel a little bit. All right. Let's calm down. That's what it's saying. All right. Good. 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 All right. Excellent. Excellent. I mean, interestingly, I know before we jumped in, you were kind of nervous to death. But I think it was, you know what, let me shut up first and see what everybody else think. Let me get everybody's feedback. Guys, ladies, please, feel free to give some comments. All right, I like this. Let's see some comments here. And the interview went well. You show real composure, but stop saying thank you for every much because responding to questions can be distracting. Okay, that's a good point, Ayodeji. Thank you. We got
Thank you.
another wow. All right, that's not okay. All right, somebody said not an advert. Get a laptop stand to show you your chin face level. It will show you should be broadly, and that shows confidence. Okay, I like that. That's a good feedback too. Let's see another one. Congratulations in advance. I love that too.
Thank
I
you.
think honestly, I thought that was a good interview. Yes, I know we have a lot of stuff to add to flesh it out, I like your confidence. I like the fact
Okay.
you were measured. You really try to understand the question. So I like that part of it. Your questioning was kind of excellent too. When you asked me your question, your line of question was really very measured and thoughtful. So, one thing I'll challenge you to do and dig deep is I want you, and this goes to everybody, always have definitely ready to go your plan to remediate issue. What is the steps? If you can check our document in the past, we use this S-bar model, just come up with and say, listen. And also I wanted you to say, you're going to use a risk-based approach and do like a root cause. Because if somebody has tons of issues they've not fixed for many years, you know that there should be a root cause. There should be a reason. Is it because they're overwhelmed? Is it because they don't have the tools, the resources, the people? So we want to do a root cause of what the issue is. So always throw that in and say we need to do a root cause. We need to figure out if there are need to help. Just kind of give some scenarios: people, process, technology, or governance. Maybe they don't even have the leadership in the first place, right? So you kind of put that in there. Another thing I want you to be ready to go for me is if I ask you what framework or what tools have you used or standard? So if you are using NIST, ISO, be ready to give me an example and just
Okay.
fine. And tell me after doing the mapping, you identify some key areas, you prioritize this, you created an action plan for your leadership, and they were able to make a decision based on the action plan. People like that because it shows you're not just dealing with the technical team, but you're also dealing with your leadership to make
Okay.
action and to make decision at the end of the day. All right, let's see another one. I like this. Dio said she did well. She answered all the questions. Blah, blah. Yeah. So some technical terms, sometimes just, and this goes to everybody really. Sometimes some of those technical terms, I get it. If you're not a technical person, make sure you take a cyber deep. It will teach you some tools. Now, most of our GRC role, we don't need to know all the tools, but it's just the lingua at times so that you can get a better flow and be confident around it. All right, another one. I see Amelia, great. Okay, somebody said, you need to use buzzwords and be more detailed in your responses. Okay, fair point. So make sure, and this is for everybody, make sure you have like 3 4 scenarios. If I wake you in your sleep, they are ready to go because you've mastered those scenarios. So it means in any interview, no matter what interview, those three are coming with me. So I need you to find your three. That this I will recommend one of your three should be a remediation project because people like that. So always be ready to go with that at any point in time. Overall, out of five, Ross K is the veteran here. So I'll probably be
Wow.
within Ross K's side, maybe 4.5. I think you did,
Goodness.
yeah,
Thank
because
you. Thank you so
I know
much.
before she came on, I had to cajole her that don't worry, you got this sis. Because I listened to her talk and I felt okay. I think I can work with this. So that was good. Another thing I like this. Please take note of this. This is for everybody. I know sometimes it's easy to skip this for everybody. Once you're building your story, use mentally the STAR method. If you forget the STAR method, that's okay. Remember problem and resolution. Tell me what the problem was. How did you resolve it? At the minimum. So let's say you forget STAR. Okay, I just forget what STAR is. That's okay. Tell me what was the problem and how did you resolve it? That's all I care at the end of the day, right? So in your mind, you must mentally in your mind articulate it clearly and say, what was the problem we're dealing with? This is the resolution. My problem was we had tons of issues that were not remediated for the last 18 months and beyond. My resolution was I came up with a strategy for SBAR to identify the situation, the background, the action, the result, and we were able to remediate 40% within 6 months. So I kind of the problem. This is our resolution around it. My vendors, they had no questionnaires to score them. That was the problem. My resolution, I built a questionnaire that targeted our top tier vendors and we're able to capture all of the key information about those vendors. So, problem, give me the resolution, right? At the end of the day. So, in your mind, just make sure you're thinking through it all the time. If you have any interview, I need you to think about the problem and resolution. I love STAR because that gives you more time, the situation, the task. the action, the result. But sometimes I get your head might be kind of blurry around. Okay, which one should I consideration? But if you forget all that, that's okay. Relax. Just say what was the problem. How did you fix it? That's all. At the end of the day. Somebody said she was quite confident. I agree. I thought it was. I like your confidence. I think maybe because she under promise and over deliver, because she kind of, before I brought her on, she was kind of hesitating, and I had to cajole her. Don't worry, you got this, sis, you got it. And I challenge everybody else. Really, I mean, folks, we underestimate what's in us. There's so much in all of us. To be honest, don't talk yourself out. Don't shortchange yourself. I'm so proud of what she did. To be honest, I mean, you need to see us
Thank you.
talking about this like a few hours ago. She was there. Am I ready? I don't think so. I said, you are ready. She was telling me she's not ready. No, you are ready, sis. I mean, look at you. You're just awesome. You did an amazing job. So
Appreciate
everybody
it,
else,
sir. Thank
don't
you.
shortchange yourself. Don't talk yourself out of it. Give yourself a chance. That's all we got. We got each other, really. Just give it all. Give it your best, and you never know. And honestly, if you speak this way in any interview, you get them comfortable. Yes, we are not of the illusion your first interview will be the one, right? It's okay. Some interview will not work the way you plan. It's okay. Keep trying. Don't quit. We don't quit in our community. Just keep trying. The universe always happen where we are persistent. So thank you so much, sis, for taking the time. Very well done.
Thank
And
you.
everybody else, for
Thank
my
you.
AI guys, ladies, we would have an AI compliance analyst interview maybe tomorrow. So show up again. Sorry, today I gave you all short notice. I gave you guys short notice, like 20 minutes to the whole thing. But I said, hey, I would rather do it now than push it. Tomorrow we'll try and do the AI compliance analyst interview. A few people have volunteered, but at the minimum, the idea of the interview tomorrow would be to kind of understand there are AI models out there. If you are coming in to do an assessment, tell me the kind of framework you use. Did you use the RMF framework? Did you use ISO framework? Did you use the EU Act framework? Whatever framework you're using, there are some things that are consistent. I'm checking for security. I'm checking for access control. I'm checking for bias. Those are then regulation. Those are incident response. So things that I know are pattern, we're just going to use the same thing. So be ready. Make sure you show up tomorrow. It's going to be fun. And for those of us that are asking about the upcoming program, it's in August 3rd, in 2 weeks. Feel free to register. Just go to skillweed.com or academy.skillweed. Feel free to register. Some of you are saying, "Oh my God, am I going to be as confident as Chi when I'm done with that training?" I won't be surprised if you're even more confident. The goal is, I mean, listen, man, we are not here to tell you anything is automatic. We know we have to put the work. But one thing we can commit together is we'll keep trying our best. And that's all we can hold each other accountable to, really. Hold us accountable, make sure we deliver value. Would hold you accountable to say, okay, show up, try, push hard. And I wish you Godspeed. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, Chi. You're awesome. Very well done. Thank you, sis. Really well done. All right. Enjoy it, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you show up. Tomorrow will be fun. It's going to be AI compliance analyst interview. I look forward to it myself. It will be cool. Thank you, everybody.
Flame ignites, a rhythm so vibrant. It sets minds alight. Skill with academy, where leaders are born. Embrace the tempo, let your dreams save storm. Rise up, leaders, let the beat guide your way. Unlock your potential, seize the day. From the dance floor to the
And if you have time, you can also always check we have a lot of good stuff on our Skill with page. Please always check it out. I'll share it with you all to see. Go to skillway.com under resources. You can always upload your resume for us to check it for you. We have a team dedicated to do that for you. We have a lot of ebooks here. Pick up these ebooks. These are amazing resources out there for AI, security checklist. So many good stuff, guys. Ladies, pick it up. All right, you will really, really appreciate it. A lot of good stuff there. You can also go to the resume review. We have a team that will help you to review your resume. Just pick it up also. Very cool stuff, guys. Take advantage of it. We are here to serve the community. Just take advantage of all these documents, all these materials. Thank you, everybody.
the drums pulsating, the
And
energy
for those of you
so
asking
strong.
about the registration,
Join the
also very
movement
simple. Just go
where
to
dreams belong.
the website and
From
you would
Lagos
have
to
access
Nairobi,
very simple.
hear the call. Skillweed Academy, break down the walls. In the heart of Africa, a flame ignites,
We just go
a
to
rhythm
the
so vibrant. It sets minds
start
alight.
learning.
Skillweed Academy,
It's go to the
where leaders
Skillwheel
are
website.
born. Embrace
And
the
here's the program
tempo,
here.
let your
This
dreams
is the
take
GRC
storm.
program here.
Rise up,
Yep.
leaders,
The
let the
different
beat guide
options.
your way.
You can
Unlock your
go twice,
potential,
3 times,
seize the day.
whatever works for you.
From the dance
And
floor
that's
to
the
the
link around
boardroom,
it too.
let your light shine, shine. Skillweed Academy, it's your time. Feel the drums pulsating, the energy so strong.
Thank you. Enjoy the
Join
rest
the
of the day, folks.
movement
God bless.
where
Take care,
dreams
everybody.
belong.